Let's start today like we always do by taking a deep breath in. Exhale. And breathe again. Exhale. I love this chime so much. During a healing session I had, that was the chime that reminded me that sound, just to come back home. What I want to talk about this week is I went to church this morning and it so resonated with exactly what I wanted to say today about how we go through storms, trials, and tribulations. And the pastor was talking about Paul and Silas and about how, they were being whipped and abused for their faith, and they just continued to pray even in the jail cell, while they were, after being in pain, being beaten, they were praising God's name. And that is something that I've had to learn how to do in the midst of having my kids taken from me for so long. One of the ways that I learned to be okay was by singing God's name, by praising God, by trusting God. And another thing the pastor said today that I wrote down, which I loved, was that sometimes we ask God to take us out of the situation that we're in because it's so unbearable. And I know for me, being separated from my children I just felt like, how could this even be? How could this even be happening? And I felt like I was doing something wrong. And the thing is that God won't take us out of the trials that we're going through because we have to get through it to the other side, but God will always be with us, and that God will give us the victory if we just keep praising his name. And I know how hard it is to walk through something and just feel like God must not be listening to your prayers, to your cries. And I have cried so hard that the blood vessels around my eyes have popped. I've cried so hard I literally lost my voice more than once. But all the while going through that, I've had to learn how to trust God and to sing God's praises even in the middle of something so profoundly just mind-boggling, just absolutely terrifying and gut-wrenching. And at one point I wrote this little melody that is just a Bible verse. I didn't write it. It's a Bible verse, but I would sing this while playing my bowls to help me remember one of my favorite Bible verses, which is, "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight." I've always loved that. Just trust in the Lord with all of your heart, with all of your soul. Trust. Don't lean on what you know, what your surroundings are telling you. and what's happening right in front of you. Acknowledge Him, surrender to Him, and He'll make your path straight. So this week, all that's on my heart and mind is to keep going, to keep trusting, to keep believing. I know that it's been hard for me at many times to keep going, but when I get into that state of worship, where I'm playing the bowls and worshiping, or I'm listening to worship music, there's that feeling, that indescribable feeling of just blissful surrender, of knowing that everything is going to be okay. And that only comes from the Creator, that only comes from a higher power. So if you're struggling with something, give that struggle to God and surrender to the plan. It might be uncomfortable. It might be a horrible thing that you're having to surrender to. But in the act of doing that, you find freedom. And I believe that that's what we're all really longing for, is freedom. And you can find that freedom. So, with that being said, I hope you have a beautiful week, and I hope that these words of encouragement that I'm bringing to you are just a little bit of help, a little bit of sunshine from somebody real who's been through something, encouraging you to keep going. You got this. All my love, all my grace, all my vulnerability. At some point I plan on being more open and free, but after having your voice silenced, I'm only getting used to hearing myself speaking aloud again like this in a public way. And it's going to take some time for me to be as free as I'd like to be. But thank you for your peace and your patience. That's all. That's all I got. All right. Till next week. Bye.